This is Sean, and today I am working on adding some teeth to my mini skid steer's bucket. So, working with some of my other contractors, especially the concrete guys, they've been running these skid steers for, 20 years. And their buckets all have teeth on them, and they can just do a lot. It seems like they can do a lot with the teeth on the bucket, as opposed to the smooth edge. And so, one of the things they do really well with the teeth is they can comb out roots and rocks, and the teeth seem to level better too when you're regrading stuff. And so I picked up some of these weld-on teeth right here, and I was looking at this, and it looks like the way the tooth is made is going to fit this profile, how they've got this weld-on edge here. And so the guy at the store had to show me how these worked, and I was like, how are these going to work? But I think they're really well designed, and they're going to work really well. So let me get all this dirt cleaned up off this edge here and see how we do. So I think that's going to sit something like that. I think that's going to sit just like that. And I bought 5 of these things. How does this go? There it goes. But I'm wondering if that's going to be enough. Yeah, that should be pretty good. I think I like it. Keep trying to put these on backwards, but they actually fit pretty well with that profile. That's pretty cool. The ones I saw on eBay, they go over like that on the bucket edge there. So when the guy pulled these out from the back, I said, are these the right ones for a skid steer bucket? And he's like, yeah, these are the right ones that you weld on there. So I think I like it. So let's get some measuring going on and get these things centered and squared up. Looks good. Now when you're trying to weld something like this and keep it straight, you want to weld a little bit on each side and alternate to get it tacked into place. Because if you just go ahead and weld one side, this side will heat up so much that it may move it a little bit and tweak it where you don't want it. So I think we're good to go ahead and burn this on in. there's my first tooth welded on. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And then these go on there, and they're supposed to pound in with a little pin there. But I've seen people who weld these on, so I may put the pin in there and then tack it as well. But let's get the rest of these done. These teeth are designed to slide on there, and then they give you these little pins with every tooth you buy. And so it's got like a rubber, it's got rubber between the two pins there, so it's supposed to pop in there, and it compresses as it pops, as it drives in, it compresses, and then it springs back. And these two little catches right there and there are supposed to keep it in place. So that holds pretty well, but I think I want to tack it in a couple places just for the heck of it. Alright, I think I've got some teeth on my bucket. So I've got to go finish doing a little bit of grading this morning. So let's go finish this up and take it out and see how we do. This was a recent French drain we put in, and I had to come back and do some regrading So I thought this would be a pretty good test for this new bucket with these teeth on it. But as you can see in this clip, it was just way too sloppy and muddy out there to do anything with it. So I gave it a pretty good try and made a few passes across it. I think the teeth are helping out, but this was just way too muddy to try and deal with. So we're trying another site to try those new teeth on the bucket. So we put a septic tank in here earlier this summer, and there's a 1,000-gallon plastic septic tank in there, and so this has just been a mess ever since. We've got lots of roots, rocks, and it's really been too soft to do anything with, so I've been trying to let it settle for a few months before I put any big machines on top of it. There's our double clean out right there too that we installed. So let's see if we can get this graded and get some of the stuff combed out of here. I think I'm finished for today. It's been about 6 months since we put the septic tank in here, and I've been out here a couple times trying to get it graded, but the ground was just way too soft still. And so that's also why I've got my mini skid steer instead of my big one, because I just didn't want to risk, you know, when you tear up the ground and put something like that in, it takes time for it to recover. So I'm pretty happy with those teeth. And so what the teeth do is they will pop things like this out, and they also, you can collect stuff too if it drags it back. So I'm gonna let this settle out a little bit more since I did this, but it's not quite finished yet. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I haven't really been grading for all that long, so tell me what you think. Do you have any tips on how I can do better for grading in the future with this thing? Do you prefer a tooth bucket or a smooth bucket?